fragile to agile on the occasion of World Mental Health Day. As you all know, the world is experiencing the unprecedented impact of the current global health emergency due to COVID-19 that has also impacted on the mental health of millions of people. We know that the level of anxiety, fear, isolation, social distancing and restrictions, uncertainty, and emotional distress experienced have become widespread as the world struggles to bring the virus under control and to find the solution. This current worldwide pandemic arose against an already dire mental health landscape that saw the mental health condition on the rise across the globe. According to WHO's World Health Report, about 450 million people live with mental disorders that are among the leading causes of ill health and disability worldwide. In 2018, WHO states that every 40 seconds someone dies by suicide only. Annually, this represents over 800,000 people that dies by suicide, which is more than people dying by war and homicide put together. Mental health is a human right, and it's the time that mental health should be available for all. So now I would like to request our respected HOD sir, who is the coordinator of the program also, Dr. Vipin Kumar Garg, for the welcome address of this mental health literacy program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rupali madam. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all for today's webinar. The World Health Organization has recognized World Mental Health Day on 10th October every year for global mental health education, awareness, advocacy against the social stigma that is often attached to it. This year's theme set by the World Federation for Mental Health is Mental Health for All. The history for this day goes back to the year 1992. In the year 1992, World Federation for Mental Health started celebrating this day as Mental Health Day. It's the day when millions of supporters around the world celebrate the day by participating in wellness programs and by bringing to attention the major effects and major illnesses related to mental health. This year, the topic of mental health has perhaps become the most important one due to the coronavirus pandemic and the effect it has had on the mental state of humans for the past 9 to 10 months. The past 9 to 10 months have brought many challenges for healthcare workers, providing care in difficult circumstances, going to work fearful of bringing COVID-19 home with them, for students adapting to taking classes from home with little contact with teachers and friends and anxious about their future, for workers whose livelihoods are threatened, and for the vast number of people caught in poverty or in fragile humanitarian settings with extremely limited protection from COVID-19, and for people with mental health conditions, many experiencing even greater social isolation than before. And this is to say nothing of managing the grief of losing a loved one, sometimes without being able to say goodbye. Given past experiences of emergencies, it is expected that the need for mental health and psychosocial support will substantially increase in the coming months and years. More detailed discussion will be done by our expert speaker, Ms. Anubha Gupta. Now I request Ms. Rupali Sharma to introduce the speaker and start the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable thought. Now, I would like to introduce the speaker of the day, Ms. Anubha Gupta. Ms. Anubha Gupta completed her MTech in Polymer Science and Engineering from IIT Delhi. Subsequently, she joined MIT Meerut as an assistant professor in year 2014. In 2017, she moved to Fiji as a faculty member in chemistry. In the quest of the soul to bring change in people's life, she finally joined an NGO, Yuva Unstoppable, in June 2019. She believes that mental wellness is fundamental to quality of life and enable people to experience life more productively and meaningfully. to create awareness about this and help people manage stress and become resistant. She has resilience. She has been working for last 2 years. She has given several seminars in schools and colleges, including IIT Bombay. So over to you, ma'am. Please share your precious thought with us all.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, everyone out there. And thank you so much for having me here on this Mental Health Day 2020. Well, you have already informed with so many data and facts about mental health, but I would like to start with a story which would let you know is mental health is all about just suicide and depression and this all the big terms which have been brought to us through the social media and news channels. Okay, so let's start with the story. So this story is about an experiment. In this experiment, there is a vessel in which water is filled, and that vessel is kept on a stove, right? And then a frog is put under that vessel, in that vessel. Okay, so as the stove is on, the temperature of water is increasing, and as the temperature of water is increasing, it's become uncomfortable for the frog. As the temperature increases, frog is like, okay, fine, it's okay, a little bit temperature is increasing, I can adjust to that, my body can adjust to that temperature. After some time, it's like, okay, fine, I can still manage, I'm enjoying this. And as the temperature kept on increasing, it's like, oh, now shall I come out, shall I jump out of this vessel, or still I have some more time? So that frog wasted a lot of time in decision taking, that shall he come out of that vessel, jump out of that vessel or not. But there is a certain time when the boiling point of water is reached, and that time that frog couldn't survive that boiling point temperature. And that was the moment that frog realized that if he can survive this, no, he could not. And then he wanted to jump out, but he could not. So when he started to jump, he tried to jump. His body did not help him and he died. Now, what do you think? Did that frog died because of that boiling water? No, boiling water was not the reason. The reason was his inability, the frog's inability to decide what was the right time to take the decision to jump out of that vessel. The wrong thing he did was ignorance, that is this right time or the wrong time, or this is the circumstances can I bear or not. So that ignorance and decision inability was the things which made him die. So now in this situation, where are we? That water is our life circumstances, that boiling point is the COVID situation, that frog is all of us. And that ignorance, what is that ignorance? Ignorance is that mental health, what we have been doing. And now the decision taking, now it's a time to take the decision if we are taking this mental health on priority or not. So yes, now we will be talking about, yes, what is the mental health. But before mental health, I would like to ask any one of you, would you please unmute the mic and tell me, what do you think about health? What health is? Anyone, Vipin sir, Rupali ma'am, or any other participant, I would like to know. It's not going to be just one-sided conversation. I would like to know, what do you think about health? Anything that comes to your mind when you think about health? Anyone? You can write there in the chat section.
Ma'am, Mr. Baldev Ram has written mental rejoice and be cheered.
Okay, fine. That's wonderful. But that is mental rejoice. If you think about the holistic health thing, what do you think about that? Positive
Health.
thoughts, the maintained mental and physical body. Very good. I think Vipin sir wants to say something. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Actually, health is not only the mental health. It has so many dimensions.
Right.
Like we have physical health,
Right.
and that is the considered most important today in our society. That is the
Right.
physical health.
Right. Okay.
I think there is social health also.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, sir. You're absolutely correct. So I would like to let people know what World Health Organization says about health. Health is not just about absence of disease. It's about the positive aspect of physical health, mental health, and social health. So what we do, what we have been told since our childhood, we have to take care of this body. What our youngsters think, that we have to look good, we must have a fit body, right? We must have muscles, we should look good. It's about all health. No, it's not about health. Okay, so health is the combined thing of physical health, mental health, and social health. And this is what World Health Organization tells us about health. But being the part of this spiritual land, we all are Indians. So one health aspect is also there, which matters a lot for us, that is spiritual health. So now there are four components which we should consider when we talk about health: physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. But today, for sure, we will be talking about just mental health thing. Okay, so now I would like to share something, and okay. So next, mental health. Mostly when we talk about mental health, just a second. Yeah, whenever we talk about mental health, the picture comes to us is it's all about depression, it's all about suicide, it's all about bipolar disorder, and this is what we think about mental health. And we doesn't get to know that health is all about you and me. It's our daily activities, it's about our potential. Okay, so what World Health Organization says about it, just a second. Yes. So mental health is a state of well-being. I think I wish you people could see the slide. Sir, could you see the slide?
Yes, the slides are
Okay.
visible.
Okay. So mental health is a state of well-being in which individual realizes his or her own abilities. Okay. So I think there is some problem there. Okay. So, mental health is a state of well being in which individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his her community. Contribution to community or society is definitely a secondary thing, but primary thing is how we coping with the challenges of this life, how we coping with the biggest unprecedented time what COVID has brought to us human being, how we are able to cope with that. Are we able to cope and manage with that stress that this COVID is bringing to us? So somehow data shows what Rupali ma'am, Vipin sir already shared with you, it's not been in that favorable way which should have been. So what we are supposed to do next? Just a second. I need to change. Now, the most important thing, let's understand what actually mental wellness is all about. It's about how do you respond to the challenges. It's about the small challenges or the big challenges what life throws at us. It's about working efficiently and productively. How do you adapt and cope with the adversity? And we can clearly see how we have failed. How we have failed in this corona times. We have not been able to adapt properly to this adversity. Do we have healthy and meaningful relationship with our family members, with our friends, colleagues, and in this society? Do we feel strong and complete as an individual? This is the biggest issue. This is the biggest issue with youngsters. We have that sense of incompleteness within us that makes us mentally ill. We need to think about that. Are we able to make choices and take decisions? Are we performing as per our potential? This is about mental wellness. And now look at what is mental illness. The most important thing, this mental health issues come with some short-term and long-term challenges. As far as short-term challenges are concerned, that's absolutely fine. We all are human beings. We all observe stress and the difficulties in life. But as long as these short-term challenges are there, we are perfectly fine. But it should not lead to long-term impact in our life and in our health. So the short-term impact is what? Initially, we feel difficulty with concentration and focus in anything we do. Even we are doing whatever we love, whatever we just do passionately, but still we are not able to focus and concentrate in that. That is the biggest sign. And next, our behavioral changes start to come. We become more irritable, anxious, angry, and then start the verbal outburst. Also, some physical changes start to come. Headache, fatigue, ulcers, and we start to get pimples and all, where there's stomach ache. There's so many physical symptoms are also there. And there comes the long-term changes, which are the most harmful thing, and which are memory and reduced learning. Sometimes we feel we just read something some time ago, 1 day back or 2 days back, but still we are not able to recall it. We just try to neglect it, overlook it, but that's some issue with our health, with our mental health. We just don't consider it, we just don't accept it. And then comes the sleeping issues, and the most important thing is daily activities affected. Daily activities start affecting. If it is goes into that long-term issues, what start to happen? It's very difficult for a person to even get up from the bed, to do the basic thing, what is there in a subconscious mind, that is brushing, bathing, going to school, college, and work. These activities actually start getting affected. Why that happen? Because the prolonged mental illness is associated with change in brain structure, its chemistry and functioning. I think most of the people are there from B Pharma. They have studied that biology part really well, maybe more than me. So I would not get into that factor. And yes, so what we have to do, what we are supposed to do is this diagram shows that some of the chemical changes. We have almost 10 billion neurons in our brain, in our mind. And these neurons show how the neurotransmitter take the messages ahead. But when a person is going through a depression, these neurotransmitters cannot move from one neuron to another neuron. That sort of chemical changes start to happen if the changes from short term to long term goals. So yes, that is the thing we have to look into. Now, again, I would like to ask you again, if you still think about if this is all about just depression and committing suicide and going low and bipolar disorder. So no, it's not about that. I think you must understand that it is all about our potential, our efficiency, our capabilities, how we are performing, how we are living our life. And even World Health Organization has accepted the fact that mental health and well-being are fundamental to quality of life. Yes, we what we do daily, we charge our phones, charge our phones daily. So phone is a very small machinery, and this is the most complicated machinery. Our brain is the most complicated machinery what has been designed by God. This is a complicated structurally, functionally. But what we do for its charging, have you ever thought of it? We do exercise, we do like we take care of our food. Have we ever thought what if the food that is good for our mind, for our mental health? We haven't. think that way. We haven't think mental health as our mind health, and we should take care of that. Why should we leave that? You just think about it. Whatever we are doing, any movement, anything, whatever we are saying, whatever senses we are using, whatever I'm saying right now, whatever you are seeing, and our emotions, our behavior, our actions, even everything is controlled by mind. So how can we overlook this mind health? Why don't we consider this mental health as mind health? Why don't we consider this most complicated machinery on daily basis? Okay, so yes, now World Health Organization has considered it as the quality of life, and even out of 17 SDGs, that Sustainable Development Goals, our world leader have accepted that out of 17 SDGs, 10 SDGs to attain that mental wellness is the most important thing. And after this COVID, of course, we know stress is going to be the next global health pandemic for sure. So, yes. Next, why there is so much of stigma around mental health? Let's talk about this. Why, if there is any problem diagnosed within our body, to our relative, to our friend, we'll go and ask, and what happened, why this happened. We are so sympathetic, we are so empathetic. But if I ask you, like if you get to know one day that your colleague, your friend, your family member have been diagnosed through this depression thing, would you go and ask? Would you help him out? Would you like to hear his story? Would you like to know what he has been going through? Somehow we try to avoid that. Why it's so? Why there is so much of a stigma around that? So first of all, I would like to tell you there is twofold stigma around this mental health. One is stigma for the people, for the other people, because they are taking it as like people are making this problem on their own. They are responsible for this. They are doing it like forcibly. They are making themselves mentally ill. And yes, but this is nothing like that. And the second stigma is with the patient who is suffering with mental health illness. So one is the symptom, what he or she is going through, and other thing is what other people are making him feel, making him realize by the discrimination, by the change in behavior towards him or her. So that is the stigma. But why is that stigma around this mental health thing? Why it has not been discussed? The biggest issue is what we say is seeing is believing. But in the case of mental health, we cannot do any quantitative test. There is no blood test, there is no urine test, there is no x-rays, or there is no swab test which can quantify or which can show us on a paper or in a report that this patient is suffering with this sort of mental health. This is all symptoms based. So doctor just diagnose it firstly through the symptoms, and the second thing which through which they try to confirm it, some psychological test that is just available there. Next thing, what we say is prevention is better than cure. If prevention is better than cure, and we know the medication part is really difficult when it comes to mental health. It takes a long time, and most of the problem comes when it is not just about medication. Psychological treatment plays an important role when it comes to mental health. So for these psychological training, psychological evaluation, it takes a long time for a patient to recover. So that is why when we have to take antibiotics for fever, we have to take antibiotic for any disease when it comes to our body. We are always ready. We are always ready to take that. We won't go to Google and we'll not look for the side effects for that. But when it comes to mental health, first of all, we can't accept that because we believe this is self-created. Okay. And the second thing, we would not like to take our ward to psychiatrist or psychologist because these are not accepted in society, and there's this stigma in our mind. This is such a big thing. No, it is not. It is just like any other physical illness. There are some chemical, biological changes, structural changes in your brain, and it can happen with anyone. It can happen with anyone. So it's the time when we need to think about it, talk about it, and we have to start taking it as our mind care, as our mind health. So yes, and this thing that seeing is believing, prevention is better than cure, whatever we say, the stigma has to be removed by us. Everyone from any age, from any gender, from any profession, you have to take a beginning from your own family. You have to talk to your family members, the kids and the older ones. Everyone must be going through some or other issue. So some report says we are the country of 1.3 billion, but 150 million. This is the pre-COVID report that 150 million Indians need immediate intervention of mental health recovery by the government or any other way. But anything is happening? No. And as an adult, we all are adults, as an responsible citizen, we need to take it as our responsibility. We should take our responsibility, then our family, then society, and then this country. So yes, that are the things all about mental health, where what we need to consider and rethink about it. And more, what most important thing we know, to know about it, how mental illness is, to what extent it's okay for us, to what extent we should now stop we should stop taking other things which are affecting our mental health in a negative way. Now the day has come after COVID, during COVID and after COVID, of course, that we should take it on the priority basis. We should take it this care on a daily basis thing. So next thing is, I would like to bring this notice to you that there is a scientist called, there is a psychologist from Austria, Sigmund Freud, who has told about the three level of mind: the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. And most of the time we talk about two types of mind, that is conscious mind and subconscious mind. And this diagram shows that you must have seen that iceberg. That iceberg is just 10% visible and 90% it is not visible. It's that deep. Our mind on that conscious level is designed in the same way. Just 10% is under control. That is conscious mind, which controls our how do we analyze the thing, how do we think critically, how do we remember the things on a short-term memory based, how do we plan the things. But most of the things, 90% of the things, I hope there is some problem with the sound. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so 90% of our brain things are under subconscious mind, under the control of conscious mind. Even you can change your small habits with the help of this subconscious mind. If you learn how to control the subconscious mind, you can definitely take control over not just your mental health, not just your physical health, not just your health, even your overall success in your career, overall health, overall happiness, overall contentment, overall quality of life. This is that much important. And you must have heard uh, of these two very famous book, The Power of Subconscious Mind, and then there is Rich Grow and Rich something. There is a book. There are so many books available which shows the power of subconscious mind. Yes, so we have to do that. Okay, so stigma, what that we have already talked about. Now, before moving ahead, there is one thing what I already told you about, that stress is going to be the next global epidemic, or this is going to be the biggest issue for each of us. How to handle that? We are going through so much directly or indirectly through this time, and even this time ends, there are so many challenges we have to face, we have to overcome. So there is one thing about stress that we know what is stress, but to what quantity stress is good and to what quantity it's not good. So first of all, let me tell you about this. Stress is not always bad. So there is a scientist, Yerke Dodson. He has told about this. Yerke Dodson. He has given this law in which he has shown a graph performance and stress level. This stress curve shows up to a point stress is good because it helps you to perform in a better way. It gives you drive, it gives you push to perform with your full efficiency. So up to that level, the stress is good. So stress is not always bad. So the problem comes when it reaches to that level, and after that level we have to curb it. We have to start thinking about it. Now this is affecting my performance, this is affecting my health, so I have to take control over that. So yes, that is something we need to know about it. One more thing. First is, yes, stress is not always bad. Up to a level, it's good. What if Yakis Dodson have already shown to us. Okay. Next thing, if I show you an experiment that this is just a mug and this is not even filled with water, and if I just keep my hand like this, so this is very light, very light. Any kid can hold it for a long time, for some time at least. But if I keep on standing, if I keep on sitting with this glass with water in my hand for 1 hour, for 2 hours, and for many more hours, will it be same for me? I'll start feeling it is heavy. It is getting heavier. So is it really getting heavier? Of course not. It's not getting heavier. But the thing is, if there is a very small thing which is creating disturbance in our peace, which is a stressor for us, but if we are holding it for a long time, it will start creating a problem here. It will start creating more problems. It will start affecting our behavior, our psychology, our physical body. So yes, so when we talk about stress, there are two things we need to take care. One, it's not about that if that thing is small or big, which is problematic for us, which is challenging for us, or we are just carrying it for a long time. So the most important thing, what we human beings are doing, we are carrying it for a long time. That is the thing. If we just make ourselves strong and we just do it, that we have to finish this thing, we have whatever the thing, whatever the event, whatever the people who are creating that stress, I have to finish it and then I have to go to sleep and I have to get up early in the morning without that stress thing, then this is no more with us. So we don't have to carry that for a longer duration. So the duration, and the most important thing, the graph which shown to you, that up to a certain level it is not harmful. We have to stop it to that level, because certain amount of stress is good for our health. If definitely helping us, pushing us to do better and to perform up to our potential. So yes, that is the stress thing. Rupali ma'am, I think there are some questions I would like to reply to answer those questions first, and then I would like to move ahead according to time.
Sure, ma'am, sure. There
Yeah.
is one question that vegetables which we are eating are not fit to be consumed as per a report by FSSAI.
Yeah.
And vegetables sold in major states of India are poisonous, ranging from 2% to 25%. Then how
Right.
will be able to mentally healthy?
Yeah. So, of course, this is not just with vegetables. Adulteration is there even in the every second thing. I think in the everything. It's not just about vegetables, it's about fruits, what we are taking. We don't know. We are taking with the good intention that we are getting the nutrition, even the milk and the air. So, we have to do the things what we can do at our level. Okay. So, whether it's any mental health illness or whether it's stress, because it all start with stress. Okay. So I would like to give you a formula to all the kids out there. This is given with the given by Hall Elrod. This is the Miracle Morning. There's a book which has given a very beautiful formula. I would like to show you that. Okay. Can you see this? Favors. Savers. Now, what the favors say? S is for silence. In this book, it has been told if we take control over the 30 minutes early in the morning when we get up, we can take control over our mind over the whole day, whatever we are doing with. Okay, so S stands for silence. What we do when we get up, and the first thing what we do, we start this with our phones. We check social media, we check Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, we check the news, whatever is going on. And news are never good, they are never positive. So what we should do is we should start our day with some silence, even for 5 minutes. We should practice the quietude within us. We should just remain silent for 5 minutes. Next is affirmation. Affirmations is like a self-talk. These are set of positive words what we say to ourselves. So हम लोगों के बड़े बूढ़े हम लोग बचपन से ये सुनते आ रहे हैं कि वो बोलते हैं कि अरे अपने मुंह से ये मत बोलो कि कब सरस्वती बैठी हो. But you know, these things, whatever we have been told by our elder people, these are some scientific facts in that. These affirmations, what we say to our mind, brings the positive impact on our brain, and subconscious mind plays an important role. I give you an example. Anger is the biggest thing what we are encountering these days. Anger is the biggest issue with youngsters, with people with any age, any gender. We cannot control our emotions. It just come and out. We just outburst. So when we just start to get anger to us, what we are supposed to do, we just have to take like just close your eyes for a while and just take a deep breath, just 4 or 5 deep breaths, and then there are two things you can say to yourself. One, I'm not angry. Okay, there is one thing, I'm not angry. You are saying to yourself, no, I'm no more angry, I'm no more angry. No, that's not the right way. You have to say just opposite emotion. You have to say, I am calm. When you say I am calm, so your subconscious mind carry that word, the calmness, to your mind. When you are giving that instruction, I am not getting angry anymore, I'm not getting angry anymore. So word is taken by subconscious mind is angry. First, our mind is taking the word angry. Okay, and when we are saying I am calm, our mind is taking the word calmness. And you can try it anytime. You can try this technique. This is so useful. This is wonderful. It's a miraculous thing. So affirmations plays an important, a very huge role to control your mind. So second thing is affirmation. Next is V is for visualization. Whatever you want to do throughout your day, or the next day something big event is coming, or there is some goal you are focusing on, just start visualizing that. This visualization giving, you are, through this visualization you are giving instructions to your subconscious mind what your goals are, how your life you want to be. So your subconscious mind start reading this thing, the what you are visualizing. Next is exercise. Exercise is not just good for our physical health, it's good also for your mental health. There are so many hormones, endorphins, BDNF, which releases when we exercise. For 10-minute exercise, and it recharges you, it keeps you active throughout the day. So that is the magic of exercise. Next is R. R is for reading. Reading. What is exercise for physical body? Reading is for mind, for our mind health, for our mental health. Just for 10 minutes you read. I'm not talking about reading your course book, your newspaper, or any other news. It's about any other self-improvement book, any book which is related to your goal, which is related what you want to learn next. So any that sort of book for 10 minutes can help you keep mentally fit a lot. And last, and the most important thing is last is that is scribbling. Scribbling is what? Scribbling is like writing. It's like journaling. It's like keeping a diary, maintaining a diary. What happens throughout the day? We just get to see so many emotions, so many events, so many things throughout the day in our college, in our office, which you are liking, which are not liking. So what happens? So sometimes there are such events which really like just get stuck up to our mind and we are not able to come out of that. So this journaling can help you to come out of that tangled thought. You just write it down. Write it down on that journal, or use this scribbling, this journaling as writing your goals. It will give the clarity. Our human mind create almost 15 to 50 thoughts per minute. So you can imagine per day how many thoughts we are going through. But when we start writing, there are very few things what we write. So there is some magical about this technique. When we start writing, we write particularly what we want. We just get rid of that emotional trauma. We just get rid of so many emotions what we have been encountering throughout the day, right? So this scribbling, this journaling thing you can use for untangling your thoughts. You can use it for getting the clarity, getting focused on your goals. And the most important thing, the most important technique is gratitude. Gratitude is something this is used by so many successful people. If you read about it, that many successful people are in a habit of writing 5 things in the journal per day, what they are thankful for. It may be just we are alive, it may be just for the eyes, it may be due to the coffee I just had in my day. It might be for a people through which I learned something. It must be a beggar in the road. By watching him, I learned something new in my life. So it could be anything. If you start writing those 5 things, you would definitely feel a difference in your life, in your mental health, in your overall health. So yes, that is a technique. There is a formula: savers. S stands for silence. Start your day in the morning with 5 minute silence. Next is A, your positive talk with your brain, that is affirmations. We mostly we all know that communication is very important for us, for our success, whether it's college level or whether it's at professional level. But what about the self communication? We don't talk about that. So that self-communication, that self-talk matters really a lot. So second is affirmation. Next is V for visualization. Next is E for exercise. R, reading a book. Uh, do take care. It must not be any negative news or any other your course book. And last is S, scribbling. So these are the 5-6 things. And gratitude. Make gratitude a part of your life. It really helps you to take care not only your mental health, your overall well-being. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Any other question there?
Yes, ma'am, there are some other questions also.
Mhm.
One question is, what is the difference between stress and depression?
Okay, very nice question. So, uh, stress is something we all have. Even right now, there must be few things which must be creating difficulty in our mind. When you are listening to me, when I'm talking to you, there must be something. So stress is a very small term thing, but when it brings the chemical changes, when it brings the structural changes in your brain, then it takes the form of depression. That is the one thing. Other thing, if that stress is prolonged, it, for a particular thing, if you are taking stress a lot of for a long duration, it is carrying for weeks, for months, then you are getting into that depression state. But one more difference is there. With stress, there is no much difficulty in our daily activities, but when you start getting into that depression thing, your daily activity starts getting affected. So that is the biggest difference between stress and depression. One more thing I would like to address here: depression and other thing is clinical depression. We know about depression. So what happens when we are stressed? Most of the time it comes out of our mouth that, oh, I'm very depressed. No, you are not depressed, you are just stressed. Okay, take care of that. And what is the basically difference when I'm talking about depression and clinical depression? Depression, sometimes, yes, our body or our brain has reached to that state where some sort of changes started to occur. But clinical depression is the next step when you need medication. Now you need to go to a psychiatrist, you need to go to a doctor, and to overcome that phase, you need a doctor. So that is your clinical depression. Yeah, I think the answer is clear.
Ma'am,
Is there?
some questions are there deal with
Okay.
anger and stress, and people are asking
Hmm.
that how will we be able to control their anger or over stress
Hmm.
or overthinking? So can you just say anything
Yes.
about that?
Okay. So definitely. See, anger management, stress management, and whatever the mental illness we are going through, we cannot overcome in just one day, in one go. That I tell you a formula that I told you favors that if you start doing it in just 1 or 2 day, you can overcome that. Definitely, you cannot. You cannot. So it's a long term process, but you have to start somewhere. You have to start with today. The most important thing when if I talk about anger, so you have to take control of yourself, that when the anger is there, there are two things: either we react or we stop ourselves and we wait for ourselves to get calm, and then we'll respond to that. So you choose always the second thing. How much angry you are, how much outburst is there, just hold yourself. Just know whatever you are going to do, it's going to bring more harmful things to you. So just hold yourself there, and start doing that affirmation what I told you. And again, what affirmation you are saying to yourself, it matters a lot. One thing: I'm not getting angry, I'm not getting angry. No, never give negative command to your mind. Always use positive words, always use the negative emotion. If you are angry, you want to say, you must say, I'm calm. If you are getting stressed, you want to come out of that, you don't have to say, I'm not stressed, I'm not stressed. No, you have to say, I'm happy, I am happy, I am content, and I am successful. So, whatsoever is whatsoever thing, person is bringing stress to you, use just negative emotion for that person. I would like to bring one thing to notice here. As we are staying during this COVID, most of the time at homes with our families, which have never been possible in our previous lives. So there are so much issues happening in our life, in among family members. So uh, one thing, then second thing, then the fourth thing, and everyone is like, everyone start getting angry. So what we are supposed to do there, like for example, I have a younger brother, and whenever I have a fight with him, like he's very bad, and like he's getting angry, he's doing this to me, he's doing to me, he's doing that to me, he's not talking properly to me, he's behaving, his behavior is not good to me. Rather than saying to that, start emitting vibrant vibrations and emotions which are positive, like we are okay, he's good, he's going through some difficult times in himself, we are perfectly fine with each other, I am thankful to him, he's very good to me. So what you have to do, whatever situation you are in and you are not able to handle, you have to use just negative emotion for that. Never ever give any negative command to your brain. So you, rather than saying I am not getting angry, say I am calm, I am happy, I am successful, I am contented. Yeah.
Ma'am, Mr. Akshay is asking, is there any medicine which can help out from depression to any people, or other methods are also available there?
Okay. So the most important thing when it comes to medicine, the kid's name is Akshay, right? So
Yes,
Akshay,
yes.
never take medicines from anyone. Okay, so I am not a degree holder or a professional psychiatrist. I'm just a mental health educator, so I cannot prescribe a medicine to you. And even anyone is prescribing to you, never take that. Okay, so yes, there are some Ayurveda tablets available. Okay, so if your first thing, you need to go to a doctor, you can go to any physician. If a physician suggests you to go to psychiatrist or psychologist, then you can visit that doctor. Afterwards, you should get the checkup done, and whatever the doctor says, you should go accordingly. But yes, you can also try some Ayurveda tablets which are available to our ancient science, and that are really, really effective. You can try that. Yes, but depression is one thing which cannot be cured just by medication. There are so many things you have to do with that. That's why there is a lot of stigma around it. Okay, it takes a longer time. You have to work on yourself. There should be a disciplined life, there should be a goal setting, and there are so many things you have to do for that. Okay, um, there one thing I have skipped, even in the last question, that is meditation. Medication is one thing, meditation is the next most important thing. So I would like to tell you, 2020 March, when Trump came for a visit to India, we all must remember that. So there was an agreement between Modi and Trump, between US and America, that we will be working on this mental health improvement thing. So we can think about it that US can be benefited by our Ayurveda medicine thing, by our techniques like yoga, meditation. But what US can give to us in that? So we have such beautiful things. What we have been given by our ancient science, yoga and meditation. And meditation is the second thing. I would say it is the prior thing what we must do just from today only. From 12 to 20 minutes create a huge difference. Meditation can't alter the changes what chemically, biologically, structurally have been brought to our brain through this mental stress and depression thing. This meditation can change it. Any kid out there in your family above 12 age can start doing this. and from 12 to 20 minutes per day, it definitely can bring huge changes. So start doing meditation just from today.
Hello,
Ma'am, next
hello.
question. Yes, sir. Yes.
Rupali madam, I think
Yes, sir.
there are so many questions. You take one, two more, and club them. Actually, most of the questions I think she has
Repeatedly.
answered. They are
Yes, yes.
repeated and she has answered.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Ma'am, one question is that most of us have a dominant type of characteristic, and we usually intentionally or unintentionally used to show a dominant character in the society or in the family. So, what would be the proper approach to deal with that?
Okay. So to answer this question, I need to go back where I discussed the four components of health. And the fourth component was spiritual health. We need to think into this spiritually. And we, for that dominance thing, what the important thing is, family members should sit together and they should discuss what are the behavioral changes we have been observing? What are the other changes what we have been facing for last some time? And that dominance thing, first thing, it's in nature. Okay, so you have to be willing. You have to be like, meditation is one thing. You have to be, of course, that mind is always in agitation. The mind is always flickering. There are so many thoughts. That's why you want to dominate the things. When you are not happy, you are not contented. So you have to look into this with so many aspects, that what is the basic reason behind that dominance. If there is some hole inside you, there is some unhappiness, there is some reason due to which you want to be dominated and you want to say this, I am the best, you have to overcome that factor. And that can be done just through by discussion with your loved one, with your dear ones, that may be your family, friends. And the most important thing to calm your mind is just meditation. And yes, one more thing, that writing it down in your diary, that scribbling thing, that really helps.
Ma'am, last question I would like to ask, and this question is from Miss Alka Maji, and I think all of the teacher being here, all of us want to ask the same question from you.
Yeah.
Being a teacher, how can I help my student to overcome depression, and how can I identify if a child is depressed?
Okay. First of all, you have to be very attentive for that. This is such a big thing, because if we are just considering teaching as a thing that we just have to go and teach and get back, then it's not going to be possible. So you have to take care of the behavior of students. If a person is already like not very calm and creating agitation in the class, creating problems, nuisance in the class, so that's the nature. But if a student is not like that, and there is sudden changes in the behavior, the most beautiful thing you can do, just call that kid separately and talk to that kid personally. And it's not going to be just in one run that that person or that kid going to share that thing with you, because this is the biggest sign of depression. I would like to suggest you a video. So Deepika Padukone has opened a foundation, Live Love Laugh Foundation. There is a video for depression, Dobara Pucho, which is such a beautiful picturization how a person goes through when he or she is under depression. So that person, that kid or that children who is under depression is never going to tell you that what he is facing, because any one of us doesn't know that the thing we are going through, this is actually depression. So first thing is awareness. We must be aware that yes, this is what you feel when you are under depression. There are so many people who have spent their whole life, at least 10, 12 years, going with going through that situation and they don't know that they were going through this depression thing. They just compromise with the quality of life. So this is not going to be just a one go thing. You have to just keep an eye on that kid, on that children. You have to keep asking that. You can share it with me. You can make that kid or children comfortable with you, that you can share anything with you. And if you find it really difficult, that the situation is really critical, you should immediately tell parents, and you should motivate parents and kids to go to a doctor, because that is the biggest thing. No one of us wants to take our kids or our loved ones to the psychiatrist. Whenever it comes to psychiatrist, it's like, no, we can handle it on our own. We can handle it, of course we can, but if this is such a prolonged thing which has changed our brain chemically or structurally, we need to go to a psychiatrist. So that medication would definitely help you out. So for the teachers, you just need to take care of the behavior. You need to ask again and again, and you have to inform to the parents. So that is the thing every teacher must do.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you have given the answers and the solutions for each and every question and the problem here very systematically. And I
I
just
hope,
want to
yeah.
thank you for the stimulating session which you have given to us all. And I felt that your remarks regarding this mental health must be beneficial for us all, which whoever are
Right.
listening over here. We
Yeah.
would definitely like to hear you in future also. And ma'am,
Yeah.
many thanks for addressing us for such an important. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Rupali, I would like to end this session with a story. I'm so
Okay,
sorry to
sure, ma'am,
interrupt
sure.
you.
No, sure, ma'am, sure.
So this is a real life experience. What I got to experience after joining this job with NGO. So we working with in the education field, and we provide scholarship to underprivileged kids, right? So before giving a scholarship, we do visit to that kid's house, whether the information provided by that kid is okay or not, is right or not. So we just go and visit the home. So I happened to go and visit this child, Monit, in Ahmedabad, and his house. This house is just a room. The size of room must be equal to our drawing room size or our living room size, and his whole world and his whole home was there in that room. When we entered, at one side his dada dadi were sitting and talking. At one side, his mother, who was doing some work on mixer, and his father was watching the TV. And on one corner, that kid was sitting and facing towards the wall and was doing something. I was so surprised. I was so wonder what that kid was doing there. So after talking to him, and I just wanted to know what he was doing there. So he told me that he was studying there. And of course, the next question came to my mind was that how could you study in such a noise created room in that house? So he was like, whenever I turn my face towards wall, that becomes my studying room, and I don't care what's happening behind my back. So why I mentioned this story, because uh, we human beings have human nature that we keep on like complaining that we don't have this, we don't have that, and that is the most important reason for the stress in our minds. And that is and the most other important thing is we find the grass is always greener at other side, and that is the most important reason of stress in our life. So I hope you will. I got so much motivated with that story. I hope you all will also get motivated with that story, that whatever is given to us, we should be grateful to that. Thank you, Rupali. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And at last, I just want to thank all the organizer, Mr. Vishwas Gautam, Dr. Vipin Kumar Garg, sir, Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir, and all of the wonderful audience who are available over here. Thank you all. And at last, I just want to say, please kindly share your feedback It is very valuable for us all, and I have shared the link in the chat box. So please kindly fill up the this feedback form. Thank you all. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Anuba.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rupali.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let us conclude.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, madam.